Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the states of New Mexico and Hawaii. This is our preview, our weekly preview of all the properties going live on the website for tomorrow, Friday, February 26th, 2021. As inventory has now dipped, guys, down to about 30 properties, the buyers list from this past week is a lot shorter, a lot smaller than it would normally be. Nonetheless, do want to take a moment to thank all the people who bought land from us these past 7 days. That list includes Charles, who bought some land from us in Tiburon, Monica, who picked up the last of our Carson Estates properties, Jose, who picked up that new Black Mesa property in Rio Arriba County. We listed it on Friday. He bought it on Friday. And Daniel, who put down a deposit on that new Torrance County property that we listed last Friday. He put that down on Saturday, and we do expect to close with him through title company of choice, New Mexico Land and Title, sometime in the weeks ahead. So do want to thank them, as well as all the people who paid off properties this past week. An unusually high number of people were paying off properties this past week. So thank you to all them. As always, guys, we are very grateful to all the people who do business with us. Anyway, with all that said, guys, new properties going live on the website this week. Not one, not two, not three, nay, nine new properties in, ba-boom, Torrance County. So here's the deal, guys. We got a subdivision out there. It's called Estancia Ranchettes. Perhaps some of you have heard of it. This is a subdivision similar. I believe it has many of the same similar characteristics to the subdivisions that perform really well in Taos County. So we have purchased 9 lots out there. We've got 8 of them that are basically 1 acre for $1,500, and the last one is closer to 2 acres for $2,500. Whatever the case, as you can see here from the headlines, RV-friendly land, relaxed zoning, so on and so forth. Depending on how these perform, we will either buy a whole bunch more out there, or we will not buy any more out there ever again. Whatever the case, I did not bother to do a kind of subdivision-specific page, master page with a list off of it. We do have, as always, guys, we've got the spreadsheet here to help you navigate these properties, and we will have on each of these 9 listing pages a kind of subdivision-specific video about the region. Whatever the case, I do believe that based on the similarities to these other subdivisions, you guys may be interested in this. Of course, it is Torrance County. There is some zoning out there. It's not like Taos County where it's completely laid back. That being said, from everything I've seen, from everything I've read, this is pretty much a region where, particularly if you do want to RV or camp for indiscriminate periods of time, up to 90 days is the formal rule. That's the official rule out there in Taos County, but you may be able to get away with it a little bit longer. Additionally, it's a mobile, it's a modular-friendly area, and it's good leave-me-alone land. So for those of you who come to the website all the time looking for some good leave-me-alone land, people who want more wide-open spaces and privacy than they want neighbors, these may be the perfect properties for you. Whatever the case, guys, we will discuss more about the subdivision in the videos that'll be up here. I do, however, just want to kind of go over the basic geography of this. These are all located about 45 minutes east of Albuquerque. Here's Albuquerque. You get on the I-40, you drive about 45 minutes east into Torrance County, and about 10 minutes past Moriarty, you will come to the Estancia Ranchettes subdivision. It occupies pretty much all of this space right here. Some of it's north of the highway, some of it's south of the highway. And actually, if we go to satellite view and kind of zoom in, you can see, well, barely. You can see kind of where this is kind of chopped up on the map here. This is the subdivision right here. And this is another one of these subs in New Mexico where a developer came in back in the 60s, bought up whatever, I don't know, 10,000 acres and chopped them all up into 10,000, roughly 10,000 1-acre properties. Don't quote me on the math, guys, but basically that's what they did. And so you've got a whole bunch of 1-acre lots out here, and then they kind of flew back east and tried to sell them to people as if, you know, oh my God, Albuquerque's expanding so rapidly that we're going to have casinos and ski resorts here in no time. And then, of course, that never happened. So it's a subdivision that has largely been relegated by time. And because it was platted out prior to 1970, prior to zoning law in Torrance County, it falls into that pre-platted lands district designation out there, which basically, from everything I've read, means that they kind of leave it alone. They don't really care what goes on out there. Anyway, so with all that said, this is what the region looks like, and I just want to kind of familiarize you guys with a couple things. Number one, the roads out here are probably as good, if not a scooch better than what you will find in Taos County. Nonetheless, what you're seeing in this photo, these are the roads. This is what the roads look like out there. So you're not going to encounter a lot of, unless you're really right at the start of the subdivision, you're not going to encounter a lot of really, paved roads or well-maintained dirt gravel roads. They are all a little bit overgrown. Our photographer reported having not major difficulty with these things. But nonetheless, do want to encourage you guys, if you're going to go out there, if you're going to buy the land, or even if you're going to go scout it, take a truck, take a large off-road vehicle. Nonetheless, all of these properties do have legal access, just some of the roads are in better condition than others. FYI, number one. Number two, there are really very few utilities out there. The closer to the start of the subdivision, the closer to the western part of the subdivision, you will find some utilities. You will, however, find some underground utility boxes out here. I cannot vouch for how operational these things are, or if they may be able to service a property if it is close to your lot. I will point out to you guys on the spreadsheet, we've made a note as to which properties have the underground utility boxes close to them. It's the first two on the spreadsheet right now. So, you know, investigate that on your own before you purchase the property would be what I would encourage you to do. Point being, it's a subdivision largely devoid of utilities, largely devoid of, you know, really well-maintained roads. That being said, you do, however, have these wide open spaces. And if you do want a place where you can RV or camp out there in Torrance County, it's good for up to 90 days, number one. Number two, as noted, mobile modular friendly. You can park an RV, you can park a mobile home out here, etc. And most of the people who do actually end up living and building out here tend to go that route. This is not necessarily the subdivision for an earthship home or something like that. I think a tiny home or a container home, I would investigate with the county first. I would find out what permits are required for that sort of thing, what costs are associated with it. But it's probably likely that you can do it out there, but I would encourage you to investigate that. Earthship's probably not, though. Whatever the case, guys, we've got a bunch of these, and as noted, very similar to the Taos County land. So if these do perform well, we will have more in the weeks and months ahead. It did, however, just kind of want to test the subdivision a little bit to begin with. Should be noted, guys, that being this close not only to Moriarty puts you in close distance of groceries and supplies, but also you're pretty close to Edgewood, roughly about a 20-minute drive from the subject properties. Over here, of course, is where you've got a larger access to supplies and groceries. There, of course, is the major Smith's Center over here, Smith's Food and Drug, the Walmart Supercenter, there's a Walgreens over here somewhere, so on and so forth. And, of course, you are only about 40-45 minutes outside of Albuquerque. So these properties are kind of ideally located, you know, pretty close to the big city, number one, and number two, good land to just sort of get away from the big city, particularly if you are one of the people who I described earlier in the video. So check these out, guys. As noted, we'll have the spreadsheet up linked on all of these pages. This will help you kind of better differentiate these properties. Should be noted, cell reception in this area, surprisingly good. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how it's possible in an area where there are no, what do you call it, utilities. Maybe it's the underground utility. Maybe it's the underground, you know, phone and cable lines. I don't know. But cell reception, our photographer reported really quite good. Otherwise, we do have columns in here about the roads, about the power, so on and so forth, total acreage, etc. And if you find one that really interests you, just come over here, click the reference number, and as always, guys, it will take you to that specific listing page. For the record, guys, and yes, this needs to be said, if the property is blue and it's marked sold, it's sold. Just want to throw that out there. Yes, I actually need to say that. Anyway, all right, guys, thanks for watching. We will have more properties next week. As always, your viewership is greatly appreciated. See you guys in the next video.